Hey everyone, Greg Cazillo from Cazillo.com. Welcome to Keep Shooting Monday number 23. I'm trying out a new broadcasting platform. I'm hoping it's going to make it a little bit nicer, a little bit easier. Make sure that you do have some photography questions. You go ahead and tweet them over or post them onto the one post that I put there on Facebook. That's the only one that I'm watching right now, so make sure that you comment there. It actually says comment here, so grab that one. Anyway, a lot of stuff going on this week in photography news. First thing, hold on one second, still getting used to this new setup here. First thing is this Sun Times photographer details life after the layoffs with an iPhone. These images are really, really cool, and this just goes to show what a real photographer can do with any phone. Okay, or let me rephrase that, with a phone, but with any camera. Okay. These are both heartbreaking as well as storytelling images, and just the quality is really, really good. And, you know, old style with a phone instead of with the iPhone, you know what I mean, or with the camera. Man, I keep on saying that. Man, crazy. Anyway, really cool images. Head over to DP Review. I'll also post this in the description on YouTube if you want to head over and read more about it, see a couple more of the images. Here on Petapixel, really cool video here. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I got started on it. Joe McNally shoots in the world's tallest building. Neat video. Make sure that you check that one out. What else did I want to talk about today? Oh yes, today we are going to talk about Adobe Lightroom 5. There isn't a ton of new features that I've seen. I've actually installed it and inserted my serial number so that you guys don't get my serial number, so that it's not published and Adobe doesn't yell at me. But what I'm actually going to do is launch it for the first time with you here live and hope that it works okay without issue. And so we're going to talk about that and some of the new things that I find, and we will go from there. So there were a couple of questions here, one of which was from Mark. Hey Greg, any tips for starting portrait photographers and how to get to be seen on the market? We all know the internet is a great marketing tool, but is not the only important thing, as it doesn't bring customers by itself. And actually here on this video, if you head over to the website and do a search for marketing, go to the top in the drop down menu, and then right here you can search and you'll find this video. And in this video it does give you some tips on marketing. So that is the video that you want to watch, and that answers that question. So there were a couple of tweets that I wanted to talk about here. One of which is how often do I clean my sensor, or do I clean my own sensor, and how often you send it in Nikon. I send it in Nikon once a year, and as of late I have not been cleaning my own. It's not too bad right now, but it might be getting to the point where I may end up sending it in again and be twice this year. But yeah, it's not too bad. Another earlier question actually came from the other day when I was showing some photos or tweeting some photos about my Epson gear. I have an Epson 2200 and an Epson 7800, which is a 24-inch printer. The 2200 is actually a 13-inch printer, yeah, with it. And so I'm pretty happy with both of those. The prints match coming out of each, which is good. Obviously, we want them to look the same when they're coming out. And so I've been taking them to a lot of local events, doing some work with those. It's been good and bad. There's been some successes and some failures. Well, I shouldn't say failures. I should say just some things that haven't gone as well as I have wanted them to, or made as much money as I wanted them to. But, you know, all I can do is keep trying and keep doing new stuff, just like I'm doing here today. I have this new kind of broadcast, and I'm doing it through YouTube Live instead of the normal Hangout. And so you know, I want to see what happens. I want to try something new, and if somebody could tweet me and let me know that this is the broadcast is going okay, that'd be great. But you know, I'm always trying to push and try new things, and that's what we need to do, is constantly be pushing, trying all that new stuff. And so yeah, that's what I do. Let's see, there was a couple other things that I wanted to mention. I thought there were some more questions. I got that one. Oh, somebody mentioned about Lightroom 5 being released, so I got that. It's a new question coming here. Haven't even read it yet. I'm going to see what it says. Hey, Cazillo, struggling with focus using single point focus. How do you determine if it's you or the camera? Well, I actually check out my autofocus video. Again, go up into the menu on the website, type in autofocus. You're going to get a number of videos there. And let's see, how did I do that? Number one, do a test with the camera. Set the camera on a tripod, test it out, see if it's focusing, see if it's grabbing correctly. That's obviously number one. That's going to be your main base test. Number two, you might need to just reset everything on the camera. Maybe there is some kind of a weird setting that you set on there, and so you might need to just can everything and delete the whole 9 yards and kind of go back to scratch, delete all those settings, take it back to default. Each camera is going to be different, so you might try that out. Maybe one of those settings is acting a little bit weird or something. Try a different lens, try a different setting. Make sure that you're using the right mode. So if you have a subject that's moving, say it's a little kid or something, make sure that you are on a continuous focus rather than a single, because obviously that single is not going to lock, or it's going to lock for a split second and then you're going to be out of focus. Sometimes I do that with macro also. So play around. If you need some more help with it, make sure you check out those autofocus videos, and then you can post over in the forum. So I'm still looking for more questions. What else do I have here? YouTube broadcasting looks nice. Thanks, Parker. Need that. All right. What continued question from that autofocus. What are the best ways to determine if it's front or back focus to set in the camera adjustments? Again, I am not a fan of setting those custom adjustments like that. To me, in my opinion, if you're having to play with those autofocus settings, those fine adjustments that are in the camera, there's probably something wrong with either the body or the lens. It's out of adjustment. It needs to be tweaked. Send it in, get it checked out, make sure there's no issues. Send it to Nikon, send it to Canon, send it to the original manufacturer, whoever it is. I don't suggest, though, sending it out to some other company. Might void your warranty, all that stuff. So do your best to keep sending it into the original manufacturer so that there are no issues. By the way, there was a post that I never talked about. It was about 2 weeks ago on either DP Review or Petapixel or somewhere. They talked about when you had you wanted to put custom firmware on your camera with the Canon, with the Nikon, and somebody else, and I forget who it was. The other camera manufacturer. Somebody would tweet that. That'd be great. Letting me know who it is. There's a third manufacturer that has custom firmware. Bring up my Twitter feed here, and maybe there'll be somebody else that'll mention it. Anyway, basically what's going on there is that Nikon said it's going to void your warranty. Canon said, no, it's really not going to outright void your warranty, but you could still have to pay for any issues that are wrong with the camera. And whoever that third manufacturer was, I don't remember if it was Pentax. Might have been Pentax, I think. Anyway, they said that, yeah, it's going to void your warranty. So do it at your own risk. Hopefully there's a way out with those custom firmwares. But there's always that risk that you could brick your camera or have to send it in and not have a warranty anymore. Then again, if the camera's more than a year old, it's not going to have a warranty anyway. So why not? Try it if you're on the bleeding edge and you want to test it out. So I'll check YouTube comments here, see if there's anything. By the way, if you are watching on YouTube, you can post a comment there. I'm checking it every once in a while. Let's see. Hey, Greg, anywhere to find a list of 5K race event photographers? Done a handful and the pay is good. I've done zombie run caller. I don't understand the question there. Anywhere to find a list? I guess just Google it. Are you trying to get more work? I don't quite understand the question there, but yeah, anyway. Looking for more questions here. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this because I do want to head over to Lightroom. In fact, why don't I go ahead and do that? Why don't I go over and we'll launch Lightroom. Let's see what happens for a while, and hopefully this works. Hey, there's a couple more on Facebook. All right. If you can re-choose your camera body, would you mention going for Canon or Sony instead of Nikon? No, I would still go with Nikon. Something about my Nikons just fit really nice in these big, huge paws. And, I've tried using Canons in the past, and they just feel backwards to me, and they just don't work. The Nikons are very intuitive to me. It's It's almost like going into a, having an American car all of my life, and then all of a sudden getting in a foreign car, and then realizing, oh man, I don't know where anything is. I can't find the windshield wipers. I can't find the headlights, and where's the e-brake, and where's this, and where's that. I've had an American car all my life. Even to me, the Ford cars are different because I've always driven General Motors, and so it's one of those things that you're comfortable with. Maybe if I'd have stuck with it in the beginning, maybe it would have been different. I don't know. But I'm a Nikon fan, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. And I think that's why everybody fell for my April Fool's joke this year. And so, yeah, that was pretty funny. At least I thought it was. Anyway, next question. Let's see. What's up, Greg? Question. What will you use for a wedding, for outside portrait shoots, for a bride and groom, for fill light and soft light, softbox or umbrella on the go? I just got the Rapid box from Westcott, and it's pretty good, like the softness that it produces. By the way, you have to remember that the softness also makes a difference in the distance of the flash to the person. So that same softbox could produce a very harsh light if it's at a farther distance. The closer the light source is to the subject, the softer it's going to be. Keep that in mind. Wedding coming up, and it's press time for small wedding. First wedding. Okay, so all I can say is there is no right answer here. You need to play with it. You need to figure it out. You need to understand how to use it, what it produces, and then make a decision at game time right there. You're walking up. It's after the ceremony, and you need to start doing portraits of the bride and groom and family. And game time right there. You need to start moving and start going. So the suggestion then at that point is, figure it out. Play with your light. Go for it. Okay? You can't just kind of, throw up a light. You need to know your light. You need to know how it works, and you need to go for it. Make a decision and stick with it. Don't go back and forth. Don't be changing a lot of equipment. Just figure it out and go for it. And the only way you're going to know that is from experience. Playing with it, knowing what it's going to do, knowing what the pattern of light looks like, how big of a light source do you need. If you're looking for a bigger light source, you probably don't want a softbox. Say it's a group of 3 or 5 people, you probably don't want a softbox outside. You're probably going to want an umbrella, and that's what I will usually do. Either shoot through or bounce off of. Depends on what I'm doing, but typically it's a bounce kind of a setting. So I'm doing a group of 4 or 5 in the wedding party. Then I'm usually going to go with an umbrella. But smaller group, just bride and groom, just bride, 1 or 2 people, then I'll often use that softbox. And typically I'm only using, say, at maximum a 3-foot softbox on a single small strobe outdoors. I won't go anything bigger like a 4-foot or a 6-foot softbox. They're just way too big. You're not going to get enough light. You don't have enough power out of those units. So, just the stick with the 3-footers. In fact, the strip domes work pretty good with a single strobe, and at least the SB900s anyway. You're probably going to need the most powerful Canon flashes, or you're going to need a lot of light, or you're going to need a second strobe in order to make that work. So, try it out. Let's see if there's any more here. Constantly refreshing. Let's check Twitter too. Oh, there's a couple more. All right, let's see. I have to send in my Nikon 24-70 lens to do some zoom sticking at 50. Where is a good place to rent a Nikon lens in the Delaware Valley area? What I would suggest is going to Alan's camera there in Levittown. You can tell Alan that I sent you. I definitely trust Alan. If he does not have a 24-70 that he can rent you, then check out borrowlenses.com. Again, they are a very good vendor. They are trustworthy, and get it for an extra day or 2 before. Check it out. Make sure there's no issues. Do some test photos. I would never get a lens like for the day of the event or the day before of the event. Get it a couple days before. Be able to play with it. Make sure there's no issues. Just in case you have to send it back to get another one. You really never know. You can't take a chance if it's a wedding or some kind of a big event. So make sure that you're kind of checking that out and rent it a little bit more time. You know what I mean? So still checking. Let's see what our comments are. Look like on YouTube. Any more here? Magic Lantern. Yes, that was one of them. That was a question. Got that one. Seems like people, a lot of it. Somebody commented here on YouTube. Seems like people who like their brand because it just feels right. That is the case. You know, everybody is different. Everybody has their kind of different feeling of how a camera should go, and that's why there's different car manufacturers and different foods and different this and different that. That's just the way it is. I like the photos. I like the skin tones. I've never liked the skin tones out of a Canon camera. I'm just not a fan, and it's just the way it is. So I stick with my Nikons. John says, learned a lesson today. Lost a golf outing today because I verified details via email instead of an actual contract. Yeah, sometimes you do need to have a contract. That is a good thing for any kind of a pro shot there. All right, so let's get into Lightroom here. Again, if you do have any more questions, feel free to keep them coming there on Twitter. And do I know of any apps on Android that are greater for on-site photo releases? No, but I did have one for my iPhone. Let's see if I still have it on here. Nope. I hate that. You get so many apps on your phone, and then you can't find the app that you're looking for when you go to find it. And that's not it. It always happens to me. I try to find something, and of course I don't remember what the app was called. ID Release, there it is. ID Release is the one that I use on the iPhone. I don't know what the name of if there is another version of that for Android, but that's the one that I use for it. So, okay. So, Lightroom. Again, I have not launched this at all, with the exception of typing in my serial number and then relaunching it in order to open up my catalog. That is all that I have done here. So I'm going to choose a different catalog that I actually created in Lightroom 4 exclusively for Lightroom 5, and let's see if we need to upgrade this. So this is all kind of brand new to me, and I'm going to go over this and see what happens. Please upgrade the catalog, and yep, okay, so that's good. Here's what I do when I am upgrading my catalogs. I like to see how this adds a -2 right here. I like to make it -5 or like for Lightroom 3, I said -3. For Lightroom 4, I said -4. Now for Lightroom 5, I'm making it -5. So I'm not going to bring it up. It'll take me too long to get it to it. But anyway, I have a list of like 10, I think it's 10 Lightroom catalogs on my workstation, and they've been upgraded since version 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I do is I will keep that old version, that 4.4 version, the -4 version, for say, 2 months, 3 months, something like that, until I think that I don't need that data anymore and there's no issues and I don't need to go back and nothing's corrupt, any problems. And so, yeah, that's what I'll do. But I named this a -5 so that I know that this was the Adobe version 5.1 rather than the 4.1. So I'm going to change that name. And then I'm going to hit upgrade, and we let it upgrade. And there's only a couple pictures in here. That's why it's not going to take very long, which is good. By the way, coming up, I also have our photo contest winners and a special, extra different kind of a assignment for 2 weeks, which is going to be a little different. It's something I want to try out and kind of see what happens. So we will see. Let's see. So it opens, and that's good. That photo should be edited. I don't know why it's not showing up as being edited. It's interesting. All right, so let's go into our preferences first, and let's see what's in here, see if there's anything any different. Man, I hope the backup is different. Oh, I hate that backup thing. That drives me crazy. I've talked about that before. So this all looks the same. Doesn't look like there's any major changes here. Nothing there. Okay, so we'll go into our catalog settings. I didn't see any major changes in there. Once a week when exiting Lightroom, so it appears that that hasn't changed yet, but we'll see when we go to actually exit, see if that makes a difference. So far, no changes in the preferences, and I'm sure all of my keywords and everything are the same, and I'm sure it imported all of my preferences. That's the normal thing that it'll do. It actually takes your old preferences file and upgrades it to the new version, the Lightroom 5 version, and so that's pretty cool. So let's go back over here. I actually had this here. The advanced healing brush was one of the things, and this is just in the develop. And then the upright tool, which the image that they showed with the upright tool was actually really neat, and you can't beat that. So if you do want to check out how to use that upright tool, head over to Adobe's site, and it was a really good image with example of that. The smart previews is going to be the one that I think I'm going to like the most and use the most. Be able to take a single catalog with, you know, say 20,000 images in it, and just be able to have these few and to be able to apply those back. I'm going to play with it, see if I like it, see how it goes, and I'll let you know what the status is there of it. And video slideshows should be interesting to be able to add those actual slides, the video and photos in with the slideshows. We'll try it out. I hope the photo books is more usable than it was before. In my opinion, it just wasn't very good, and so we'll see. All right, so let's see. So far, I hate to say it, but there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of changes. So let's just take this in and develop. And you know what? This is probably a good sample of this for the straighten tool. And let's see what it does. See if there's something automatic. I'm waiting on that. Anything? Nope, got that one. Just refreshing all my comment sources here because I got Facebook, I got Twitter, and then of course over on YouTube. And so there's a lot of them that I'm trying to kind of keep up with. I probably shouldn't. Whoa, that's a few. Okay. So we're here, and let's reset this image. And lens corrections and basic, let's see. Upright auto, let's see if it does anything. No, it doesn't. It does not seem to have done anything. So let's try level. I'm not seeing any changes here in this image at all. Are you guys? Nope. No upright corrections found. Did I do something wrong? Yes. Enable profile corrections. No, I'm not seeing any major changes. So I guess it's the image that it can't fix. Oh well. Lens profile. So I know I can do it manually. I guess I probably need a better image in order to do this with. That has a few more of those lines in it to actually be able to fix and do stuff with. And this is a pretty extreme image anyway because I was like pointing the camera up in the air with a. I think I had my 24 to. I don't think did I use my 24 to 70 or my 14 to 24 lens. So it's a pretty wide shot anyway. Yeah, 14 millimeters. So I had my 14 to 24 on. So that was an interesting one. I didn't think it would have done anything, but worth a try. Let me try the book module here to see if it's any better. If you guys are wondering whether Lightroom is a good investment, personally, I couldn't live without Lightroom. I use it all the time, and I do mean all the time, both on my laptop as well as on my desktop. And you don't have to have that separate license. I'm able to put it on both of those machines, so I don't have to buy 2 copies of it. So far, I haven't seen a whole lot of changes here, and wow, it's slow here on this machine because I'm doing my Wirecast thing and uploading, and so that's why this is running so slow, and so I'm trying to work this out. So let's see, let's answer a question or two here while we're at it and hope that Lightroom 5 doesn't crash. Alright, was it bad of me to bring my 70-200 kit lens to a wedding and take some shots the official photographer either missed or was not there at the time. Nah, I wouldn't be mad at that if I was doing that. What's my backdrop made of? We printed it here in the studio, and I just laid the whole thing out in Photoshop. This is called a step and repeat background, and it's actually just printed on a banner material that we just ordered a roll of banner material from LexJet, and then ran it through our Epson printer. Here in the studio, I have the 24-inch printer, and then the other photographer that's here in the studio has a 44-inch. I actually bought my 24 from him when he upgraded to his Epson. I forget which one he has. Anyway, it's 44 inches, and it's really nice, and he just got it not that long ago. Last fall, I think it was. He bought it just after I went up to the New York Photo Show. Anyway, yeah, it's just banner material, simple banner material called a step and repeat background. Laid it out in Photoshop and printed it, and that was it. Very simple, nothing much to it. So I guess I'm really going to need to play with this in order to get some more information and see what's going on. You know what I really wanted to see? I really wanted to see, and I already hit slideshow. Wanted to see if there are any more manufacturers that besides Blurb that you can order the books through. So let me answer a question. Is there a big difference in the Nikon 300-2.8 and the Sigma 300-2.8? I don't know. I've never played with the Sigma. I'm sure there is, depending upon which version you're talking about, because there's like 7 or 8 different versions, 9 different versions of the Nikon 300-2.8, and I think there's only 2 or 3 different versions of the Sigma one. So yeah, there probably is, depending upon which one you're talking about. But all I can say is test them both out, see what your budget is, and pick one and just go for it. I'm sure they're both going to produce good images, but so far only Blurb. I hope that there is some kind of an API allowing other manufacturers to do that. So far my Lightroom wish list is pretty much in the can, because I don't see any changes that I requested or things that I had put on my list. Oh well, I guess I tried. Maybe I don't know. I'm a little disheartened considering, the $79 upgrade. I feel as if there should be a little bit more going on here. A few more changes, a few more adjustments, a few more updates. I feel like this is kind of a crappy update. Yeah, kind of feel like this is a crappy update. I don't know if it's really great. The only big thing for me seems to be the smart previews. Maybe this radial gradient thing I'll use more. Although I'm not a big fan of gradients, I try to get it right in camera whenever possible. But maybe they're getting better. If you haven't bought Lightroom yet, at $149, it's worth the investment. Unless you really need one of these features that are here, like I think I'm definitely going to use the smart previews. Maybe you don't need to spend the extra $80 right now and jump right on it. So test it out, see if it's going to work, if you like it, and go from there. Could you please explain what the radial filter is used for? Radial filter is used so that you can darken the edges of an image, kind of like a vignette, and then lighten another area. So say you have 2 people in a big wide portrait scene, you can darken everything around it, and your eyes will naturally go to the lighter portion of that image, and so that's where you would use that radial filter. Adobe actually has a really good video on that, and I'll do my best to find it and tweet it out at some point. But yeah, it's a good one. Let's see. Somebody mentioned about having the right gels for the flash. Just as important in the modifier. I disagree with that. Well, number one, gels are a modifier because you're changing the light that's coming out of the flash. But I would say that the softbox and umbrella is a lot more important because it's controlling the pattern of light. And I would definitely say that that's more important than the gels. So let's see if we had no more tweets there. My phone is blowing up and I don't know why. Okay, so let's see if there were a couple more questions here on Facebook. And I think we'll be getting out of here kind of soon, but we'll see. Oh, yeah, photo assignment winners. So 2 weeks ago, I had a photo assignment, which was summertime, and so I have 3 winners here. And to be totally honest, I forget which one was which. Oh, yeah, so those are our 3 winners. And so this one was number 3 from Parker. This one right here. This takes some experience, some patience, some talent in order to catch a bird in flight like this. So very good. Love the photo, Parker. That one is number 3. And then this one is number 2. Love the rule of thirds from Ben. The rule of thirds. You can tell that she's walking out there with her board. And excellent photo. Good composition. It could be, this actually would be a great image to use that radial filter on. If he would have had Lightroom 5 or he would take the photo in the Photoshop, you do that radial filter and you keep this portion darker, but or lighter, sorry, around the person, darken the rest, make it a little bit more interesting. I'd like to see what you can do with that, Ben. This is definitely one of those things, though, it's a light thing. You need to season it to touch. It can't be a whole lot. So be careful with that. Just a little bit. All right, just a little bit. Number 1, baseball from Tim. Doesn't get any better. Love the saturation of this. It's really bright. The contrast between the green and the red and the white of the ball. And that here in the United States, to me, is all about summer baseball. And so that is my number 1. So, new assignment. New assignment is going to be anything. Okay? It can be anything you want to photograph, as long as it's a good photo taken between now and 2 Fridays at 5 o'clock, posted to the forum, as always. But what I want you to do, the key to this, is since Lightroom 5 just came out, I want you to edit the photo only in Lightroom. Doesn't matter which version you have. You could still be running version 1 if you wanted to. And I'm going to trust you on this. So edit the photo only in Lightroom. Okay, no Photoshop. And I want you to show me the difference, the before and the after. So I am going to, don't intentionally screw up a photo. I definitely don't want that. But I'm looking for some pretty extreme examples of photos that you're able to enhance. So I want you to start out with a good photograph with good composition and good lighting and enhance it in Lightroom. And so I think this might be a little bit different one. Let's try it out, see how it goes. So you're going to be posting 2 photos, a before and an after, by next Friday. What's that date? I don't have my calendar in front of me anyway. By not this Friday, next Friday, 5 o'clock, posted to the forum. Try it out, see what happens. I just thought of this today. I've been so busy over the weekend and last week that I just have not had time to think of another assignment. So since Lightroom came out today, let's try it. So any more questions here? I'll take one more pass. Looking for some photography questions as always. Check YouTube. Have I tried DxO Optics Pro? No, I have not. Hi, Greg. Update my laptop or buy a nice lens. My laptop is barely keeping up with Photoshop needs. Then you probably need to update your laptop. If you need it, if you're doing a lot of editing and it's slow and you're sitting there forever waiting on it, like for example, if that's your normal amount of time that you would wait when switching modules inside of Lightroom or opening up Photoshop, something like that, if you're sitting there and you got time to check your phone and do this and go get a cup of coffee and whatever, that's a problem. Then you need to update the machine, and so that's probably the better way to go. Let's see. I have tested the older Sigma 120 to 300. I did like it. I still ended up buying the 300 2.8 Nikkor because I got a really good deal on my 300 2.8. It's an AFS, and so that's why I ended up buying it. But I've heard good things about that Sigma 120 to 300. One more check on you. We check YouTube. Now I'm checking Facebook, see if there's any more. Somebody said something about shooting in northern Arizona. I'd like to see what that's about. What is it about Arizona that is so cool and you had to shoot there? So let's see, was there anything else? Last check on Twitter. Nope, I think that is it. So a 35-minute show today. That's not bad. We'll see. So get your photos posted over to the forum for this photo assignment. Again, it can be anything. Just make it a cool photo. That's all I care. Just make it a cool photo and get it edited. Show the before, show the after. Get it posted up there. I think that's it. So questions, comments, send them over. Greg Cazillo, Cazillo.com. Thanks, guys. Keep shooting. See ya.